Gen Con 2026, and our first interview of the show is with Brian Holland from my good friends over at Chaosium Inc.
First interview.
Good to see you.
Good to see you again,
we
Jeff.
chat, but I always interview Rick.
Yeah.
Or Mob.
Well, Mob's not here this year.
Yeah.
Rick is run off his feet in the booth, so you're stuck with me, unfortunately.
I'll say hello to him. I'm not stuck with you. So we got some new goodies from Chaosium Inc. We've got one on the horizon. We've got one that's been out for a bit. Those are board games. We're going to talk about that. Let's talk about RPGs first, because we got, is the Boy King a Gen Con release?
Boy King is a Gen Con, what we call a pre-release. So this is available at Gen Con about a month ahead of its street date in early September. So for those of you who don't know, the Boy King is the first of the Great Pendragon campaign volumes. So the Great Pendragon campaign is probably one of the more famous role-playing campaigns.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So before he passed away, Greg Stafford, who was obviously the founder of our company, creator of Pendragon, he went back to that manuscript of the campaign and really expanded it quite significantly, which was a blessing, because he did say before he passed that he considered it his magnum opus, the best work he's ever done, which from a man like that is really something.
I was kind of surprised. I always thought it'd be RuneQuest.
Yeah, well, that's what a lot of people say. Or Glorantha, right?
Yeah.
But no, he said, no, 6th edition of Pendragon he thought was the best thing he ever made, and I think we need to, we as carrying on his legacy, honor that's the belief he had. What he left us with, though, was if we were to publish it in one volume, it would have been about 1,000 pages. So what we have instead is The Boy King, which covers the conquest period of the Arthurian legend. So this is the first 18 years of the campaign, and that is 18 in-game years. So it's one by that first volume. Next year at Gen Con, we'll come out with the second volume, which I will tell you as a Gaming Gang exclusive, the title of that book is called The High King.
Ah.
Yeah, and that will cover, I don't know the exact number of years that will cover, but the important distinction is, while you can play these all sequentially, once you get all three, as one long campaign, if you, like me, who have maybe played, I use Masks of Nyarlathotep as a good example. I know a lot of people, myself included, who have played the New York chapter of that campaign many times, because we're like, oh, I'm really going to get through it this time, right?
My cameraman and I, yes, we've done that. Yes, Elliot's doing camera work again this year.
Yeah, so for example, if you're someone who's maybe started to play the Pendragon campaign, and you're like, well, I've played the Boy King, I've played the Sword and the Stone, I've never actually got to the romance period. You can actually just start with the second volume. You can start your campaign with that. Same thing if you want to do the Grail Quest as a standalone campaign without having to go through it. So they're all three individual campaigns, but are designed to also be played sequentially for the whole generational thing. So we're very excited to have this here. The biggest difference with this book, for those of you who get any of it, it is a hefty, mighty tome. It's very light, you might notice, Jeff. It's actually for the weightness of it. That is the paper stock that we use. But also the quality of art in this book is skyrocketed. We recently hired a new art director for the company, and a man named Paul Tobin, who's got a very extensive resume, but he's most well known. He worked for a long time at Weta Workshop.
Okay.
So he worked on the Hobbit films, and he's a weapons designer. So what was great about working with Paul, he's a well-established artist in his own right, but he brought a Rolodex of people with similar resumes to him. So the art in this book is truly next level. And if you've not had a chance to look through it, I recommend you do. Yeah, well, you're taking that one home with you. So yeah, you can do it on that. I look forward to seeing the first view video very soon.
Probably next week.
Let's do it. Get back, and
hey,
you can
maybe
go
I'll do a live first look.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Get some folks in chat.
You can go through the art. So, we're already a really good response to it. There are 3 versions of this book. There's the standard one that you're showing there. There is the limited edition one, which is it was only been 300 that have been printed. It has got an alternate art cover. It's actually this art that we can see behind us of Arthas getting Excalibur from Nimue Lady in the Lake, and there's the classic leatherette that we always do as well. So we've actually already nearly sold out of the leatherettes and the alternate art cover here at Gen Con. So a really good response to the game.
And if
so
you
far.
Can't make it to Gen Con, we are looking at. I love when people just video call. It's like, well, I'm not looking at it. Anyway, I was going to say, if you are not going to be at Gen Con, this will be in stores in September?
I believe early September. We were hoping for late August, but it's just we're at the mercy of the shipping gods at the moment. You know, we're trying to get everything out as fast as we can.
So let's talk the other release, which I'm very familiar with because I reviewed it.
So this is obviously Call of Cthulhu Innsmouth, came out on July 22nd. So it's just over a week ago, but it is obviously a lot of people are getting their first chance to see it at Gen Con this weekend. Those of you who are familiar with Call of Cthulhu Arkham from 2024, Innsmouth is getting that same treatment. So there's, I think, about over 180 locations, several dozen NPCs, all detailed in like the sandbox campaign setting, as well as an extensive look on the Esoteric Order of Dagon. And for those of you who maybe know what's going on in Innsmouth, there's a whole different section on Deep Ones, but also alternative takes on maybe what the origins of the Deep Ones are and what Deep Ones could be. So for those
and what they're looking to achieve.
Exactly. So
it might be just, hey, could you leave us alone?
Yeah, exactly. So Mike Mason, the lead writer and creative director of Call of Cthulhu, has put a lot of effort into making sure that even if you are been playing Call of Cthulhu for a long time and your group has maybe already played in Innsmouth or you've done Deep Ones, you can still surprise your players with a whole lot of alternative ways to present it. And even if you're not even doing Deep One stuff, this book is absolutely replete with scenario hooks and scenario connections all through it. So my favorite thing, I actually started this last week, is you get this book comes with 2 full-size poster maps, as I'm sure you saw.
Yep.
Also comes with a newspaper prop. Yep. I said, you've just arrived at Innsmouth, there is the map, where would you like to go?
Right.
You know, and they look at the map and say, oh, well, we should find somewhere to stay, right? Like, well, you ended up at the Gilman House Hotel.
One of the
and
things
you go from there, right?
I really was impressed by with the supplement is the fact that there's just so many ways for you to approach this. And you can go off in different directions with your campaign set in Innsmouth. It doesn't only have to focus on the deep ones.
Exactly. There's a lot to do there. So yeah, we're very excited. I'm personally very excited at this because I'm taking this physical one home to start playing my own game. You don't need one of these. Yeah, exactly. So
other release that's been out for a little bit is the board game, isn't it Journey to Innsmouth?
So yeah, Miskatonic Tales, Journey to Innsmouth. So Miskatonic Tales is going to be a series of board games. This one is the Journey to Innsmouth adventure. So this is sort of a storytelling game where you and one and I think up to 4 other players, you each take a classic Call of Cthulhu investigator and you run through 3 different scenarios that are designed to be played in sequence. And it's almost like an introduction to role-playing. So it's like a GM-less role-playing experience where you will move across the board, you'll discover things or won't discover certain things that you'll be then prompted to go to a book where you have read aloud text of what you discover and the options that you have to what you do next. It also has a free companion app where all of the read aloud text is performed by voice actors for you, which is a really fun way to play it.
You did it all, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, me too.
Every
I'm actually got to finish recording it right after this interview.
Right.
So yeah.
There you go.
So that's a really fun experience, particularly if you've got a group who maybe hasn't really played Call of Cthulhu yet and you want to sort of introduce it to them in a more casual manner, you can pick up that board game and play it. And if you all have a good time, you're like, hey, well, this is kind of what Cthulhu is like, and then we can go play the full role-playing experience. Mechanically, it's not like Call of Cthulhu. It's got its own unique mechanics which are really fun to put together, but you can play like a full campaign, and it's endlessly replayable because there's so many different options of where you might go, things you might miss, things you might succeed at, which means you miss other things that are through there, so you can play it through multiple times.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then there is another Call of Cthulhu board game on the horizon.
Yes.
Very successful Kickstarter for it.
Yes. So Horror on the Orient Express, the board game, obviously inspired by the now I think modern classic Call of Cthulhu campaign of the same name. We have that in pre-release here at Gen Con. I believe all of our backers, as of today, the copies are on their way to the backers in America and around the world, I should say. So that is you play an investigator upon the doomed train, the Orient Express, as it carols through the Dreamlands, and it is a high focus on replayability. And what you are doing is you're on a time because you are going through the Dreamlands, and you have to find out which of the other passengers on the train, I should say, are part of the secret cult. And if you identify them correctly, then before the train arrives at its destination, then you win the game. But if you do not, or you misidentify people, then it gives you a significant back. Obviously, there's a number of things you can collect, like magical items. There's little side quests, a lot of replayability, and the first expansion for it actually gives you it gives you an opportunity to either turn all of the cultists into player characters or all the base player characters from the base game into cultists. So it increases the playability significantly. But it's a very, very, very fun game. Designed by the same folks who designed the game Nemesis, which I'm also a big fan of. That's not a game that we publish, but for those of you who might be watching this, if you're a board game, if you know the game Nemesis, that's the kind of level of quality that you're getting with Horror on the Orient Express. So that's the one I don't have a copy of yet, and I'm not sure if I can squeeze that one into my suitcase.
You'll be seeing coverage of both those board games in the not too distant future from the gaming gang. Brian, any final thoughts you want to share with the audience?
Last thing I want to share is, I'm not sure if I was talking to you about this, Jeff, but we're actually launching a crowdfunding campaign for a whole new role-playing game.
Right.
On August 11th. The game is called Time Without Tide. It is set in a faux Victorian post-apocalyptic setting of mirth and misery. It is Chaosium's first wholly new IP and new game engine for a role-playing game in decades. So if you're at all interested in, when Chaosium decides to do something new, which we don't do often because we're quite discerning, you can check that out. You can sign up on the Backer Kit page right now. Just search Time Without Tide. Backer Kit.
I've shared news on
So if you follow it, which costs you nothing, you can download the Quick Start and check out the game, which is it's a quick start with a full adventure, suite of pre-made characters, and check it out. I think it's also one of our best looking games we've done. The art is very evocative.
I would also say now, not knowing much about it, it sort of reminded me a little bit of Fallen London, if you're familiar.
Which I'm not familiar with that, so I don't know.
So it's a browser game, but it's like a storytelling game.
Oh, cool.
And it's set in like a London that's submerged. It's pretty wild.
Yeah. Well, it's cool.
Crazy.
Yeah, we'll definitely check it out. But that's the only thing I probably have to say that I wanted to get out there to the watchers of the gaming gang.
Sweet. Yeah. Brian, thanks so much.
To see you
Great
again.
to get you on camera for the first time.
Until next year, in meat space at least.
Of course.